Welcome back to Thursday Night Live, high school football on BCSN here at Rogers, and it's certainly an honor and a privilege to welcome in a great personal friend and a great friend to BCSN, the great one himself, Mr. Charlie Contrada. Charlie, thanks so much for being here.
I'm so happy to be here, Tom.
And thank you so much for helping sponsor, in part, Thursday Night Live, and we appreciate you making this possible. We're very, very proud to bring it to the BCSN audience.
I'm very happy to do it.
Well, how do you feel, Charlie? I mean, this is your field. You played back here. We were in the same class.
Yes, we were. We played against each other.
You did. You used to beat the bejeebers out of me. I remember that back in 1969. And you were a great player here at Rogers. But talk a little bit about, you went on to become an outstanding player at Kenyon College. You got a great education at Kenyon, got a great education at TPS Proud Rogers. And then now you have a tremendous law practice with your wife, Carol, who's also, oh, by the way, one of our outstanding county commissioners. So Rogers did a lot for Charlie Contrada. Talk about some of the things that helped you at Rogers in the classroom, teacher-wise, and on the football field, coach-wise, that you've carried over into your personal life, Charlie.
Well, I thought I got a great education at Rogers High School. It was terrific. It was very disciplined, and it was tough. And we had a lot of advanced courses, and we had to do a lot of homework to make it through. I mean, it was not easy going. And then some of you might remember some of my high school coaches, Tom Lyons and Tom Gatteau, are pretty famous.
Yep.
Tom Gatteau,
legendary guys.
They really are.
Yeah.
And I just happened to have him, and Vitale was also there.
Another legendary guy.
Yeah. So it was really exciting to be here. I talk about football and, running out on this field and playing, and you remember the nerves you had.
Yeah.
Those were things you learned, and then later in life, for instance, in law, you learn how to overcome those fears and the nerves that you have. Quite honestly, I think, and you'll agree with this, one of the things you learn the most from is losing.
Yeah.
It's so tough to lose. You work so hard all week, you really expect to win, and then you lose, and then you got to deal with it. Yeah. You got to wake up in the morning. You have to see your friends. Those are tough things.
Those are very tough things. And, Charlie, that's a great point for young people because everybody loves you when you're winning.
Yeah.
Everybody's your buddy. Everybody's slapping you in the back, telling you you're the greatest. But when it's going against you, that's when you find out what you're all about. And in life, somewhere along the line, I don't care how good, how talented, how strong, how smart, you're going to have a streak where it goes against you. And what do? Do you just lay down and cry, give up, quit? People that have been involved in athletics, and especially I think football, because of the toughness of it, don't do that. They get up and they keep trying, and I think that's true, Charlie.
Yeah, I think failure teaches much more than success. It really does. And then I was so lucky when I went to college, I played for Tom McHugh, who's another local legend.
You played for a lot of legends and were coached and taught by a lot of legends. Tom McHugh was a Central Catholic coach.
He won the state championship in '64 and then ended up in college down at Kenyon where I played. And, I learned a lot from him. These guys were tough guys. They were tough taskmasters, and you had to learn to deal with that. They were not easy day in and day out. They weren't easy on the sidelines.
Right.
I mean, these are guys that raised their voice once in a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's interesting, Charlie. Football is under a lot of scrutiny today with the concussion issue, and rightly so. I mean, the health of the players is the most important thing, and I think they'll get that figured out with a helmet design. I really do. You certainly know it from a legal standpoint. I think they will get it fixed. But the lessons that you learn within the game that we're proud to bring you on BCSN are so valuable that they're important to the formation of someone's character and who they're going to be and what they're going to be. I really truly believe that.
And quite honestly, of all the sports that are played in America, high school sports, and particularly high school football because I participated, high school sports are the most important. That forms character. It forms early in life. Once you have that and you've learned those lessons, it applies to much later on. And I credit a lot of my success to what I did in sports.
Well, in law, to me, Charlie, is my daughter's a lawyer like you, and I know how much work goes into it. I know how hard law school is. I know how hard the law profession is in itself. You have to be tough to survive in that industry because you're dealing with winning and losing, and when you're losing, you're talking about people's lives.
Yeah.
How much pressure is that? I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
And then you think of trials somewhat like the game, but as we all know, it's the preparation that allows you to win that game. So it's that week of practice beforehand, and it's all the preparation before a trial that nobody really knows or sees about that really, adds to the success.
Charlie, you're lucky. I had some old yearbooks at home, and I was going to bring one. I think I have a yearbook shot of you in your Rogers uniform. You were looking, you were looking good. But I think in one of the shots, you were spearing me in the back. I
probably was.
I think you stuck a helmet in my back, and I deserved it. I know that, but you were a tough competitor, Charlie.
Well, that was legal.
It was legal then
yeah,
also. But you really were a tough competitor, and I think, I know you are a tough competitor in the courtroom, and I think those carry over one to the other. I really do.
Well, the other thing with you is you were one of the 2 or 3 quarterbacks that really could throw the ball. I mean, you were a great competitor yourself.
Well,
I mean, we had some tough games.
We did have some.
They were close games, and I won.
Yeah.
So.
Now you're starting to sound like Corso.
Yeah.
You're sounding just like your half-brother Corso.
That's true. That's true.
That's exactly what Corso would have said. Charlie, on behalf of Buckeye Cable and BCSN, we can't thank you enough for helping sponsor Thursday Night Live. We're so proud to be associated with you. And as always, if somebody has a legal question, something they want to talk about the law, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, call me, 419-841-4400. Go to my website, www.contrada.com. I'm happy to talk law or sports with anybody.
Well, if you're talking sports or law, you got the best with Charlie Contrada. Thanks, Charlie. Appreciate it so much. We'll be back with more Thursday Night Live football on BCSN.